Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the fact that airlines, they've kind of been, in my opinion, kind of the wild card when we've been dealing with inbound immigration here to Thailand, and even in certain cases, outbound immigration for folks going to the United States. What are we talking about here? Well, you have to understand, airlines as carriers, they have, they're a common carrier, so they have certain obligations associated with bringing people to and from different countries, especially where they're bringing a foreign national in to a country. If that country essentially turns that person away, that common carrier may be on the hook. Again, it depends on circumstances, but may be on the hook to provide that person passage back to wherever they came from. And in the COVID era, this is it's not really a good thing in a sense for these airlines from their point of view, because it creates a lot of extra risk and cost risk of cost or unforeseen cost associated with, people that are coming to a country and then they get turned away. For this reason, I have noticed that the airlines can be a lot more stringent about documentation, like way more stringent even compared to certain governments or immigration authorities. And it's one of the reasons why when we've discussed this with a lot of clients, we tell folks, you might want to bring like quadruplicate copies of documentation, because I've seen this, it's definitely gotten a lot smoother now than it was, especially like a year ago, a little less than a year ago, when we were starting to see people being able to come back to Thailand. But, coming through, especially with connecting flights, and most stuff we deal with that's coming in from the US especially, it's going to have to deal with a connecting flight, be it Japan or Korea, sometimes like Hong Kong, Singapore, they may have to connect through somewhere. Well, in that connection, there can sometimes be some hiccups because, the airline staff want to see all this documentation to get you into Thailand again, because they're afraid yet again that you might get turned around. So in many ways, and I don't blame them, they sort of come by it honestly. They have to sort of protect their own interests, and they're trying to do the best that they can. But I have seen a lot of circumstances where airline personnel have actually been sort of more the sticklers for documentation than even immigration authorities. It's not exactly a common thing, but it's not uncommon either. So folks that are looking to travel, especially to Thailand or coming out of Thailand going in the US, just kind of have that at the back of your mind that, airline personnel are also a factor when you're thinking about travel documentation for making sort of a smooth transition from one country to the other.